Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's a Thursday. We get ready for Thursday night football. There's college football, something NBA is back, hockey. This is a beautiful time because soccer, as you know, Brad Thomas is here, and he's going to remind you that shit don't stop. And we have the World Series. I don't even remember if I mentioned that because we have so many sports right now in that quick little intro. Brad, at Mr. Brad Thomas. I'm at Shanderbets, straight to the house producing. What's happening, brother?
Dude, man, it's been an amazing morning so far. We have Europa League on, and I think I've stacked up like 8 units this morning, which is freaking incredible.
Man, hopefully you can keep that going because I'm sure based on both availability, meaning like there's soccer being played, and how well you're doing so far this AM, you're going to want to keep that thing going with us. You at least have one soccer play for us today, right?
I believe so. I
Okay.
tried to send at least one. Yeah, I do. Oh my God. It's an insane bet. I can't wait to talk about that.
All right, fantastic. Well, we'll see. We'll bounce around and see what happened here. Straight, as always, is in the house producing. If you're here, hit the thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed, of course, to the GoldBoys YouTube community, following on OddsShopper, at OddsShopper on Twitter. So let's look, I guess, how we did last week. It was, it was, for me, it was a 2-1 night. For you, it was a 2-1 day. Yep. I was looking at Linquist. Did the receiving yards hit? The AD combo hit. The Dobbins ladder did not. Did the Derrick Henry over 4.5 receiving yards hit?
He had a reception. Let me see.
I don't know if it did.
Yeah, it did. He had a reception. It was 13 yards. It was a touchdown. It was beautiful, actually.
Oh, that's right. It was the TD. I apologize. Yeah. I stand corrected. All right. So look, we went 6-3 last week on the show, and we continue to do every week. As far as the show is concerned, there's been profit. One person or maybe even two people don't have the best. It's like, 1 and 2, but then here's Brad with like a 3-0 or whatever it may be. So we've been in good shape overall. You are not hemorrhaging out there if you are following these plays Monday, 3:00 Eastern, Thursday, 3:00 Eastern. There is no way that you are hemorrhaging right now. Is that a fair assessment?
Very fair. And I just think it's because we're 3 really talented cappers. And what's also great is, like, obviously we all specialize in different things. So there's always some like, one day it might be a bad football day or a bad baseball day. There's always someone else to kind of bring up the slack on that.
All right, let's do it today, man. Curious to see what we have. We're going to bounce around, of course. And look, there's a lot. This is the best part because there's so much to dive into. What's your first look of our 3 plays across the board?
Yeah, my first look, and my computer's on the verge of crashing. So this is off the dome here. Justin Jefferson touchdown.
Okay.
So Justin Jefferson against the Rams today. Rams, one of the worst in allowing touchdowns to wide receivers per game, almost close to like 1.3 touchdowns per game to wide receivers. Justin Jefferson on a nice little touchdown streak as well. Obviously, like, you're going to want to target the outside receivers in the red zone against the Rams. You don't want to try to go up the middle against this team. So I thought it was a fair price, even at -110. You can get funky with it and take the Vikings money line and parlay it with it. I think this game's going to be turned into a little bit more of a shootout. These two teams tend to get a little spicy with it too. Cooper Kupp comes back. We might see a little Puka Nacua on the field. So hopefully it's not the Rams. I mean, the Vikings just running the ball 40 times because they have like a 21-0 lead at halftime or something.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm going, but I think both can coexist for me. And that's, I think, the beauty of it, right? Is that you can see, like, this could be a 13-3 game, and I don't have any percentages that I've run through 1,000 simulations, but I would bet that if you were to create a pie chart of who, and you know exactly where I'm going, of who that one player would be to score the touchdown in a 13-3 game, it's going to be Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
Like, of all people here. And I think, I mean, what'd you get him at? -110?
Yep, -110. And to tout your tools,
like the lone fair price left. What was Kyron Williams when you looked at the board, bro? Like -250,
-2 something. And yeah, Justin Jefferson market is like -130, -140. I used OddsShopper to get that number too.
Look at that. See synergy. across the board. I love the play, and I think that it's definitely something you could work in here if you're looking at maybe a boost or one of those no sweats that you can
Yeah.
have. I'll push it a little bit, and maybe this is creating some sort of a middle. I don't necessarily really think it is, but I think we saw it burst with the Baltimore game, but it's still a prime time. It's short week. I get that the Rams were off the week prior, so that this isn't just like a typical short week, at least for LA. I think, though, that the Rams keep it closer than people think. And not to say that I'm jumping on the Rams, I'm actually taking the under 48 and a half, but I can see this game in the mid 40s. I can see this a 42, 45 type total. And ultimately, I think the difference is you will see a little more commitment to both Williams and Aaron Jones on the other side. Puka Nakua coming back, Cooper Kupp coming back, Justin Jefferson, you mentioned. Those are the guys you want to keep off the field. It's not Sam Darnold and Matthew Stafford so much. It's guys that can kill you with one grab. And I think, look, I may be wrong, or maybe they start and they abort, but I think there's going to be a concerted effort. And look, if you're on the road team tonight in any capacity, like covering what have you, or all, even covering bigger, it could feed into the fact that Minnesota doesn't need to put up 50 points in order to get right. They get in,
Correct.
they get out, they do what they can. But here's where I go back to where I love your play is that this is a survival play. Justin Jefferson scores in any freaking game script you have where there's a touchdown.
Yep. No, absolutely. I really like it. I put him in a parlay leg too. Like, um, another guy who I'm gonna talk about later is definitely a worthy to be a single if you want like a better price guy, right? Like someone a little bit higher. But
Well, go ahead. Let's run it back. So we're Justin Jefferson minus 110 on the TD, which is a great find. You said the market was at 130, right?
yep.
And then the under 48 and a half, I boosted it on the FanDuel profit. So yeah, I'm betting that at plus 114, which again, for both of us, it's about the numbers that we're getting on top of it. So let's run it back. Who's your second play here?
Yeah, so let me nerd out on this one a little bit. It's Cole Kmet over 36. I think you can find some 35s out there and a half receiving yards. So we already know the Washington Commanders, pretty poor secondary. But to make that a little bit like furthermore, the Washington Commanders run the fifth or have the fifth highest too high safety rate. What that means is a lot of the shots or a lot of the volume is going to come underneath. So then you want to think of who's getting most of the volume from the Bears because there's going to be a lot of underneath room to work in with. Well, surprisingly, it's Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet right now, 16.5% target share. He also has a 14.8% first read share. So he's the guy that Caleb Williams is looking at the most. If you want to get a little spicy and take longest reception, I said he's hit that in every game. Like that's totally cool. But I took over 36 and a half just given those factors. He's a guy who, if you want to bet a tight end to score a touchdown, you should literally look at him. His number is about plus 250 on Caesar Sportsbook
Wow.
to score a touchdown.
That's
He's had a
surprising.
Reds.
I
What?
thought I thought it would be like, especially knowing how books squeeze, I thought it
Yeah.
would be like a minus 190, 195 type play.
Yeah, no, plus 250. He's had 4 red zone targets in the last 4 games too. So that, you couple in that first read percentage, then he's getting the looks in the red zone. If you just want a little bit more juice, you can go ahead and take that touchdown at plus 250.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
I think the total in that game too is like, I don't know, 46 maybe. Just but it's high for a Bears game. 43, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That game, I'm tempted to. I know that the quarterback switch is a massive concern for people, but I'm Washington at home getting 3. Something about that. All right, especially coming off an upset win in London. The trends, it's like 1-7 straight up, 0-8 ATS, some stuff. All right, what's real quick? What is the longest reception?
Um, there I have to look the number up. Longest reception.
I'm
I
just
already have him pulled
because I
up.
think
Longest reception 16 and a half.
yeah. So I think you're right. Like a lot of times it doesn't always happen, but I think when you're looking at guys who can get downfield, and Komet is definitely one that I don't think people who aren't watching would think right away.
Yeah.
You see these numbers pop up where you're like, okay, what do you have a better chance? If Komet was held to 2 grabs, what do you have a better chance of clearing? And you're right. I think it is the longest reception. Now you're playing the volume game, which is that he's going to be a big part, and Caleb Williams, what have you. But I think sometimes you see some value there. I know that's your play. I'm not asking you to step back and do something different, but seeing that at 16 and a half, do you like it at least equally?
I do. So let's eliminate the first 2 games, right? You have like sometimes you have to eliminate those. Eliminate the first 2 games of the season where the continuity wasn't there. Homeboy was decided, hey, I don't know how to pass the football. Now things start getting a little better when they play Indianapolis. Ever since they played in Indianapolis, he's hit that in every single game. That's 4 games. Yeah, 4 games where he's hit it straight.
All right, I didn't realize I was muted.
You're good.
I think the biggest thing that Okay. Okay. I was gonna go for another guy that I found in a similar situation here. I didn't want to disrupt straight, and I was also talking while muting. So that's like missing all legs of a parlay. You know, you build like a 3-leg parlay and you just
Yeah.
don't hit any of them. I just missed all 3 of them right there. That's fine. I'll move on to my second play and go from there. It's gonna be in the NFL still. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. I apologize. I apologize. We're going to go back to the NFL for me at the end. A nice little 2-leg same game parlay that I built off OddsShopper. But I'm going Cuse here, and I'm going to take the hook plus 3.5 in the first half. This is an interesting game with Pitt. Clearly, everybody, and you see what they've been able to do with the Panthers 6-0, and they're covering. I get it as far as just recent. But the other side of this is I wonder how much disrespect, maybe that's the wrong word, but I wonder how much this has moved off of like a 3.5 point line to a 5.5, 6. I think it was at 6.5 at one point before it was
Yep.
immediately bet down, right? Because of that stupid loss to Stanford in September. And Syracuse is just not that team. And Fran Brown's got a squad here. And I put a third of a unit on them to win outright tonight. But I think the first half for me, especially with this level of comfort that Pitt, and it's no knock on Narduzzi or anybody like that. I don't think that they're poorly coached or anything. I think that you get into this sense of malaise and this sense of comfort if you're not a perennial powerhouse like Texas or Alabama each and every year. And this is a spot where I think the spread is a little bit off. So I'm getting the benefit of a first half spread, Brad, at plus 3.5 from a 5.5 point spread where it probably should be closer to 1.5 in the first half.
Yeah. I like Pitt to win tonight. Probably like them to cover, but it's really hard to bet against Kyle McCord. So Syracuse 5th in offensive success rate on the drop back. They're 7th
Insane.
in Eichel rate, 26 in points per Eichel. They throw the ball a ton. 3rd and 4th down success, 3rd in the country. Defensively is where you have your issues. I think it's going to be a shootout. But if we are being serious, right? If there's a shootout between Eli Holstein and Kyle McCord, you're going to want to go with Kyle McCord. I got some more numbers to talk about that I thought was pretty remarkable that I found today on Mr. Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord on throws of 20 yards or more.
Yes, yes.
First PFF, 2nd in completion with 22,
Yep.
4th in yards at 681, and 9th in touchdowns. It's really good numbers. You know, their top 2 defensive linemen are going to be out. They're missing their top pass catcher, but I think that it's McCord who makes the pass catchers better, right? It's not the other way around. So I am going to bet on Eli Holstein over passing yards in that game, but I'm not guaranteed going to bet it, but I want to see if I get any buy down. So if I can buy that, if I can get the market to buy against it a little bit, then
Yep.
I'll bet him at 300 plus. Right now it's 300 plus at plus 100. But if I get some people who are like, that number's too high and I can get 300 plus at a better price, I don't want to play his baseline. He's going to be a boomer bust guy.
Love it. All right. So far, we're in good shape. 4 plays across the board. Let's run it back. Brad, we'll tell you about what's going on at MGM and then me before we get out of here. Third play. It's got to be soccer. You promised us soccer. Did you not?
I did. I thought we were rolling the MGM. Or is
Oh,
that
no,
not
no.
now?
I'm sorry. We'll do that after your play.
Okay. My play. I promised you soccer, and I am going to deliver you soccer. It is going to be the Arsenal versus Liverpool match, and I am taking the road team Liverpool, draw, no bet. Under some books, it's tie, no bet, or PK, or plus 0.0. They're going against Arsenal, who is absolutely decimated. First and foremost, Bukayo Saka, the leader in assists in the Premier League, is going to probably be out again. They're also going to be without, obviously, Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard is their creativity in the midfield. They're out the best defender, probably the best defender in the entire Premier League, in William Saliba. He is out due to red card accumulation. They're out. Another great signing they had over the summer from Bologna in Calaflori. His name is a tongue twister. Just so much happening. And it's not that I'm just fading all this bad stuff happening. This is a good Liverpool team. Liverpool team that has conceded the fewest goals in the Premier League so far this season. They have the lowest XGA, which means expected goals allowed in the season in the Premier League. So for me, this is a good shot in what could be a very scary game for Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans will be quick to tell you that, man, if they get away with a point in this game, they are screaming from the rooftops. And if they get away with a point, we get our money back. So why not take a stab for plus money on Liverpool, draw, no bet?
So here's the crazy thing, and Eric Lindquist is in the house here. Good to see you, my friend. You're gonna have the fine. We'll give you two plays that we get out of here. Nobody wants a third play from me. They want two plays from you. So that will equal it out, at least for me and Lindy, and Brad gets the third one here. But here's the thing, Eric, because you missed this part at the start of the show. Even if I had like 4 pages worth of retort for Brad about why that was a bad bet, this dude is on some massive fucking heater right now this morning. He's just cleared 8 units on the pitch. So who am I to have any issue against that? Liverpool, draw, no bet, plus money, I'm in.
It's and let me say this. I'm going to say this because I know a lot of people who aren't real familiar with soccer are going to be like, well, I'm just going to bet Liverpool to win. Do not do that, because there could be a point in the game where if it's tied in like the 80th minute, Liverpool aren't going to go for a win, because picking up a point in one of the best teams' home stadium is like just as big as picking up 3. So that's why you have to stick with the draw, no bet.
What's up, Eric?
Well, hello. I'm so sorry. This is what happens. You get on meetings and then you talk shit about how Eytan's always late to this thing, and it just drives me ballistic with where he is, what he's doing. And then I'm just sitting in my chair on a meeting, listening to whomever do whatever, the BS as it goes along, and just forgot to join in because you get lost in the web of things to do. It's first week of NBA. It is, I mean, it's been fantastic. I'm glad to have it back here, but sorry. Hello.
It's fine. It's fine. As long as the show is on, I think from 3 to 3:30, GoldBoys and OddsShopper is okay. In any capacity of the three of us, I think people are ultimately okay at this point. All right, why don't you go rapid fire here? Give us your top 2 plays of the night, Eric Lindquist. And if you need something just to satisfy that last graphic there straight, you can put in my same game parlay that I have for Thursday Night Football. I just built it off OddsShopper. So if it hits, sign up at OddsShopper. If it doesn't, then blame me. I'll take the hit there. It's just 2 guys on receiving. Again, I'm playing the market here. This is just me playing what's plus EV from a market-based approach more than anything else. I don't have some deep-rooted analysis on why DeMar Robinson is going to struggle in a certain area. It's just the price was too hard to ignore. All right, brother, what do you got?
All right. Well, this will be easy. I have 3 plays, but 2 of them are wrapped up in one, just like this. I love Aaron Jones less than 70.5 rushing yards. I love more than 20.5 rushing yards for Ty Chandler. This is a short week, and I know the Vikings had a bye in week 6, but week 7, they go out and play Detroit, a notoriously difficult team that very physical. You end up having Aaron Jones play over 2/3 of the snaps. Hamstring was fine, but they went out and got Cam Akers because they were actually concerned about it. This is now his second stint. He was with Kevin O'Connell when he was with the Rams. Then he got acquired at early on after like 2.5, 3 weeks when Kyron Williams became the bell cow last year. He ends up going to Minnesota, was serviceable in very limited duty, goes to Houston this year, and now he is back in Minnesota. He'll be active. He was active in week 7 as an insurance policy. He will be again today, but this really comes down to Aaron Jones on a short week. What do you think that workload looks like on first and second down? I will argue that Aaron Jones should not be getting bell cow type service. And I have him projected for 12 carries, which I think is much, much lower than the industry standard here at the moment, purely because 3 days, now you play again on the road, West Coast. I can't imagine that they're going to give Aaron Jones the full gamut of every single down treatment here. I think he'll be out there in a lot of passing down specific situations. I think they want to lessen the workload on him a little bit. Cam Akers probably gets revolved in a little bit too, but Ty Chandler, despite the fact that he has been very, very inconsistent this season, he's somebody that Kevin O'Connell trusts. He comes in basically to like eat up games at the end, and they get Aaron Jones out of there. I think we could see something similar today. Now it's a 2.5 point spread. Now you have Nacua, you have Kupp both active for this one, which is just wild that that's the run out. But still, even though it's competitive, I can't imagine that they want Aaron Jones to have any type of a workload that could potentially affect that hamstring. Give me less on 70.5 rushing yards. Give me more on Ty Chandler over 20.5.
You know, what's funny is sometimes a situation that happens in another game impacts a situation in the game that you're betting. You have to know that the front office of the Vikings saw what happened with Mike Evans. Mike Evans nursing a hamstring injury, gets overused running deep routes, extended plays. You got to be like, why are we risking it?
Got to be careful with this kind of stuff, especially when Aaron Jones is as dynamic. Cam Akers and Ty Chandler bring no passing opportunity, and by far the best blocker of the three is Aaron Jones too. So like, you just need the guy healthy. You need to put him on bubble wrap to some extent here. I would actually be surprised if he played more than 60% of snaps today. I would actually be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think that takes away their want to run the football, though.
Correct.
I just think it opens up something else. And we talked about this. I'm on the under
someone
tonight.
Else. That's what I'm hoping, is that it opens up someone else.
Well, that's the thing, is that I agree with where you're going. It's a means to a different means, or not even a different, but it's a means to a same end for me, which is you need to keep Kupp and Nacua off the field.
Yeah.
Like you have to. And if it ain't Aaron Jones, it's going to be somebody else.
Correct.
All right. Was that it? Didn't you have one more?
Nope. Feeling very. Oh! You wanted to get it right away? I thought I had like a break for.
No, we're done. We're gonna give you time, and then we're getting out of here.
So I show up late, and then I get the floor. Isn't that just the way that life works? I can't believe how spoiled I am. So yesterday, my big play was Milwaukee against Eytan's Philadelphia 76ers. 3.5 was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad line. This opened at 12.5. It's up to 13.5, and I would still bet it because I think the correct line is 15.5. It's Boston against Washington, and I'm not saying they're going to make 29 threes tonight. They shot the ball out of the gym against the Knicks, but they are going to just decimate some of these teams because guys like Peyton Pritchard, just 1 for 15 and you win by 30. This guy was like, I would argue, one of the better players in all of preseason basketball this year. He is somebody that was serviceable as a sixth man for Boston, and he's going to be a scorer here this year in that role as well. I can't imagine that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to take their foot off the gas. Obviously, they feel a certain way about Steve Kerr and the Olympic treatment over the summer. That's giving them motivation. And generally, you see some of these championship teams come out a little flat where they don't have a ton to play for. But coming off of this Olympic spark, basically Tatum being benched, Brown not being on the team, you saw some vengeance out there in that first game out of the Knicks. And I'm not an emotional bettor. So I just went into the last year's data and I basically took these matchups straight up. 15.5 ends up being my projected spread just based off of adjusted offensive and defensive ratings last year on dunks and threes and trying to evaluate this spread. It's already moved a point. I don't really care. Bet it up to 14.5. 15.5 is more of the correct number here.
Sounds good. We're in. We're locked in.
Yep. Square, but don't care.
Absolutely. That's fine. That's fine. By the way, I'm going to give you some advice. Is this guy down in, I don't know if he's in Orlando, but there's a viral tweet about Uncrustables. And unless that's Brad's guy, I would strongly suggest blocking him because you're going to see nonsense being retweeted into your account nonstop about an Uncrust. I'm just doing, this is a PSA, a public Shander announcement. I'm doing you a favor here, all out there. All right, look at that recap right there on the board. Straight is a man of the people. He was able to turn that sucker around in like 3 minutes because Lindy was so late. That's all he gave us. It's awesome. Good stuff as always. Hit the thumbs up button. Look, on your way out, and Straight, you tell me, can we end with the video since Lindy came in and we got the picks? Can we just say like see ya and then end with the video? Is that something we can do? Let's do it. All right. We appreciate you all. At Eric Lindquist, at Mr. Brad Thomas, at shanderbets. Make sure you're subscribed to the GoldBoys channel on YouTube. Make sure that you're following OddsShopper at OddsShopper. And if you ever see Straight in the street, say, hey, man, thank you for making this show on the air. We appreciate you too. Hear from BetMGM right now. The GoldBoys are one of the largest, most well-known sports betting discords around the world. We'll show you how easy it is to get a free month at goldboys.com and sign up at BetMGM just for using code GoldBoys. Sign up at BetMGM, use code GoldBoys, deposit at least $10 and get your first bet back up to $1,500. Once you play through, you'll get an email from BetMGM with your code to use for that free month at goldboys.com. Some exclusions may apply. 21 or older, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, sign up at BetMGM using code GoldBoys, deposit at least $10. Your first bet's back up to $1,500. You'll get an email from MGM. Use that code for your first free month